He thought it was just another day at work polishing silver, cleaning floors, and staying invisible in a house that wasn't his own. But when the millionaire smirked and tossed him a challenge, everything changed. "Translate this," the man sneered, convinced his maid could never rise above her place. What followed wasn't just an answer, it was a revelation that shattered arrogance, exposed prejudice, and turned silence into power. How could a few simple words flip the balance between the powerful and the powerless? Stay with me, because this story is one you won't forget. For years, Maria lived in the shadows of a mansion that never felt like home. She wasn't family, not even close. She was the help, the one expected to scrub floors so spotless they reflected the wealth of the man who owned them. Every morning began the same way: rise before the sun, slip quietly into uniform, and blend into the background of someone else's world. To the millionaire and his guests, Maria was nearly invisible. Her silence was mistaken for ignorance, her accent for weakness. But inside, she carried a quiet strength, a knowledge no one cared to see. Though the job paid little, Maria endured it for her daughter's future. She dreamed of something better, something that didn't confine her to cleaning up after others. Yet the walls of that mansion often reminded her where society believed she belonged. She heard the laughter echoing from dinner parties she could never attend, the sharp comments whispered just loud enough for her to catch. Each remark was a reminder. In their eyes, she was beneath them. Still, Maria kept her head down, working with quiet determination. But all it took was one careless moment, one arrogant dare from the man who thought himself untouchable, to unravel the fragile balance she'd built. He wanted to prove her small, to put her in her place. What he didn't know was that Maria carried more than a mop and bucket into that house. She carried a truth powerful, enough to shake his world. The challenge came on a night when the mansion buzzed with guests, men in tailored suits and women draped in glittering jewels. Maria moved silently through the crowd, tray in hand, eyes lowered as she refilled glasses and cleared plates. To them, she wasn't a woman with dreams, skills, or worth. She was just background noise, part of the furniture. But then the millionaire decided to make her the entertainment. "Translate this," he said, holding up a slip of paper in front of the laughing crowd. His smirk widened as whispers rippled through the room. He knew the maid's place, and in his mind, this little game would prove it to everyone. The words scribbled on the paper weren't simple. They were in a foreign language, chosen deliberately to humiliate. He leaned back in his chair, expecting silence, expecting her to stumble. The guests leaned in, their eyes glinting with curiosity and cruelty. It wasn't just about the words. It was about putting her on display, reminding her and everyone that she was beneath them. For a moment, Maria froze. The weight of every insult, every dismissive glance she had endured pressed against her chest. She felt the eyes of the room on her, heavy and mocking. And still, she stood tall, the paper trembling slightly in her hand. This was no mistake. It wasn't a casual request. It was a public trap. The millionaire's voice cut through the murmurs, dripping with arrogance. "If you can translate this, my salary is yours." The room erupted in laughter. To them, it was impossible. A cruel joke wrapped in wealth and power. But Maria wasn't just a maid. Few knew she had once studied languages before circumstances forced her into cleaning jobs. Few cared that she had sacrificed education to provide for her child. They only saw the uniform. They only saw what they wanted to believe. Her heart pounded, not from fear of failure, but from the weight of a decision. If she stayed silent, she'd confirm their beliefs that she was small, invisible, unworthy. But if she spoke, she risked more than humiliation. Would they accept it? Or would they twist her intelligence into something threatening, something to punish? The room waited, impatient and gleeful, like an audience hungry for a spectacle. Maria lifted her eyes, locking them on the millionaire who had mocked her existence. In that moment, the laughter faded into a ringing silence in her ears. Her voice broke the air steady, clear, and fluent. The translation rolled effortlessly from her tongue, each word slicing through arrogance like glass. Gasps rippled through the room. The laughter died. A hush fell heavy. The very thing they mocked her for became the weapon that shattered their illusion of superiority. But the story doesn't end with a simple translation, because what came after the millionaire's reaction, the truth it exposed, would shake the entire room to its core. The last word left Maria's lips, and the silence that followed was deafening. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The translation hung in the air like a blade, sharp and undeniable. The millionaire's smirk faltered, his glass of wine frozen midair, his eyes narrowing as if refusing to believe what he had just heard. Then, the room erupted not in applause, but in whispers, gasps, and laughter laced with shock. The very audience that had waited for her humiliation now turned their attention to him. The power he thought he owned was slipping, unraveling before his eyes. Red crept up his neck, his pride pierced in front of everyone who mattered to him. "You think this proves something?" He barked, his voice trembling with a fury he couldn't hide. His laughter had vanished, replaced by something uglier, a mix of rage and fear. The wealth, the arrogance, the power, all of it had been challenged by a woman he considered invisible. Maria stood still, her chest rising and falling, her hands steady at her sides. She had done nothing but speak, yet her presence now filled the room in a way his money never could. For the first time, he was the one exposed, the one mocked, the one small. But arrogance doesn't crumble quietly. He slammed his glass down, the sound shattering through the hall like a gunshot. "Get out," he roared, pointing toward the door. His command was desperate, a grasp at control already lost. Yet the guests didn't look at Maria with contempt anymore, they looked at him. And in their stares, he saw what he feared most. The image of a man undone by his own cruelty. Maria turned toward the door, not with shame, but with dignity. The challenge meant to strip her of power had instead revealed the truth. Knowledge is strength, and prejudice crumbles in its presence. But what happened next, the consequence of her defiance, would change not just her life, but his reputation forever. Maria walked out of that mansion with her head high, the echo of his shattered pride still ringing in the silence behind her. What was meant to be her humiliation became his undoing. The guests who once laughed at her now whispered about him, not her. By morning, rumors spread beyond those glittering walls about the millionaire who mocked his maid and lost more than his dignity. His reputation cracked, not because of wealth lost, but because arrogance met truth, and truth won. For Maria, it was more than just a translation. It was a reminder of her worth, proof that intelligence and resilience cannot be hidden beneath a uniform. She carried that moment like a shield, knowing her daughter would one day hear this story and understand. Silence does not mean weakness, and injustice does not define you. But Maria's story is not just hers. It is a mirror of countless others' voices silenced, talents overlooked, humanity dismissed simply because of skin color, status, or accent. For every Maria who finds the courage to rise, there are thousands still trapped in silence, dismissed, before they ever get a chance to speak. And so, the question lingers, how many more must endure humiliation before we learn to see people as more than the roles society assigns them? How many more moments of cruelty must play out before dignity, respect, and equality become the norm, not the exception? Maria's act of defiance reminds us of something vital. Racism doesn't just live in laws or systems. It hides in smirks, in jokes, in the small ways people try to make others feel small. and it can be defeated one truth at a time. So I ask, you, when the moment comes, will you be silent in the face of injustice, or will you speak the truth that cannot be ignored?